right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Kayfabe, and we've got 5 Kayfabers here that are pretty excited about this coming weekend in Winston-Salem. That's right, the House of Kayfabe returns to Winston-Salem this year for Wrestlecade. It's the day after Thanksgiving, the next day, and the next day, and we will be there going hard for 3 straight days with all of the guests that are a part of Wrestlecade. Stephen P. New, here we go again.
Here we go again, baby. The House of Kayfabe invading and taking over Wrestlecade for the second straight year.
That is correct, and we've got a lot of stuff planned. Well, here's the one thing is Rob Van Dam was supposed to do a podcast. He is now pulled out of Wrestlecade, which, you know, that's a terrible thing. I really wanted to see Rob Van Dam, but there's like 150 people there. So I'm sure we're going to find other people to enjoy at Wrestlecade. But now that means House of Kayfabe is locked in to that 12 noon spot before franchised at 3. So we got to figure out something to do for these fans.
We'll find some people, some wrestlers that are there early and want to be on a podcast, want to be doing a panel with none other than Brian freaking Resner.
That is right. I will be back doing panels. This time we've got franchised at 3:00. And then before that, we'll be there at 12 noon in that slot with some mystery guests. And then all day long at the convention, we will be interviewing people live. This is going to be one hell of a weekend. Adam Harris, you've been a part of this thing for many, many years. How excited are you? Give me the level.
Man, I'm so excited. Actually, on Sunday of Wrestlecade will be my 7th anniversary since I went to my first ASW show. And so it's a special anniversary to spend all this time with you guys, my fellow wrestling friends. I've got a stack of cards here that I'm hoping I'm going to get signed from various wrestlers that are appearing at Wrestlecade. I know we're going to be looking for some toys as well. I can't wait.
Speaking of collectibles and cards, I am bringing the Andre the Giant rookie card to get authenticated at Wrestlecade. We'll be doing a live video there. So either I'm going to be the happiest guy in the room or I may shed a tear. Matt Mullen says that my card might not be authentic. Mm-hmm. I have heard from several people on this side of the world that it is authentic. We will find out, and I'll tell you what, the highest bidder can totally walk away with that thing because everything has a price if you're talking to me. So I believe that maybe we will get it authenticated and sold, or I will get it de-authenticated and I don't know what I'll do with it at that
point.
Put
in the spokes of your bicycle.
Yes, it'll be in the spokes of my bicycle.
I think you could show it to Cardona either way, and he'll be able to tell you if it's authentic or not, because he's got really into cards as well as Brian Myers. So they'll be at our table, and we can show them that thing.
I'm waiting to see if maybe someone tells me, "Oh, this is not real. I'll give you $2,000 for it." That type of deal. So we will see what is real and what is fake this weekend at Wrestlecade.
What is a work card or a shoot card? Are we hoping
you'll see a lot of things where you'll go, are those real or are they fake?
And the answer is usually they're fake.
Yeah.
Stephen Barker,
not in Resner's case.
Yeah, hopefully not. Stephen Barker, give me the lineup of everybody who's going to be at our table this weekend. Our table alone sounds like a convention.
Dude, our table is ridiculous. First of all, we have Claudio Castagnoli. That's who's at our table. Claudio. From the South, Claudio. Motherfucker.
Have you ever heard anybody named Claudio?
Claudio.
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 This is what got you called out not too long ago. What did you say? I can't remember
who was it?
Who
I mean,
did you mispronounce? And they were like,
I
"Is this
said
guy even a
Finn
wrestling
Balor. I
fan?"
said Finn Balor.
Oh, Finn
Finn
Balor. That's
Balor.
right. Finn Balor. And everybody was like, has this guy ever watched wrestling before? Now you come
Never.
in saying Claudio.
Claudio
Claudio
Castagnoli.
sounds like one of those guys in Mario that throw the things out of the cloud at you.
Well, hey, he's going to be in my car, so I'm going to ask him if it's okay to call him Claudio.
Let's try your best to pronounce his name correctly before you pick him up. We'd like him to be in a good mood for Wrestlecade.
So
anyway,
you should start with Mr. Castagnoli. Is what you should
So
start
we've
with.
got
Exactly.
Claudio Castagnoli, aka Cesaro, at our table. Who else do we have?
We have Matt Cardona. No, wait.
Matt Cardona will be with us.
Exactly.
Number 13 wrestler in the top 500 according to Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Is he? Did he
Number
get
13?
number 13?
Number 13, baby.
Dude, hey, look, all you
I like
AEW
him.
people that think that you're fighting the system, if Matt Cardona, or maybe we don't know it's Cardona. I mean, we do. If that dude is number 13 without Dave Meltzer fucking snorting lines of his videos, he's the number one indie wrestler, if that's true. Is anyone who's higher than him on above 13?
Stay tuned to that video.
Yeah, we'll have to do a video on that later. But I will say, and I'm a fan of Matt Cardona now. I wasn't a fan of Zack Ryder. I am a fan of Matt Cardona. But when you say 13, I just want to be like, what the? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Number 13. But I mean,
shit. Now I need to know who the first 12 are.
That's another episode, guys.
Okay.
Big praise to the man. So who else is at our table, Barker?
Oh, we've got Brian Mayers.
Brian Myers will be at our table. I'm sorry, Steve's special. Next up.
Don't just gloss over Brian Mayers. Fucking Matt Mullins, you pay this guy a lot of money to hear his content. Tell us why Brian Myers is the most professional wrestler.
Well, not only is he the most professional wrestler, but he is also the Scottie Pippen of wrestling figure collecting. As Matt Cardona is the Michael Jordan and Smart Mark Sterling is the Phil Jackson. Brian Myers is an awesome dude. I think that they have really made this community of listeners, and you watch their videos, and I'm on their Patreon, and man, they've got a whole community that I just am glad to be a part of. So I think that's awesome. We got them.
And the thing is that I didn't notice or didn't know about that scene, and I only know about the Major Bros podcast because of my two great friends Matt and Adam. When we saw Matt not Matt Cardona, when we saw Brian at the Bash and Beckley, that dude was over, and I feel he's so over because of his hustle on the podcast and his ability to create this merchandising market. I mean, am I wrong about that, Adam Harris?
Well, Brian is the most professional wrestler, and nobody gives him any crap for that name because they all believe it, and he is great in the ring. Him and Cardona are going to be challenging Heath and Rhino for the Impact tag belts on Friday night. So that's happening. Impact Wrestling is going to be taping during Wrestlecade. And yeah, I think, look, those guys have built, as Matt said, built this whole community that people are thrilled to be a part of.
And Brian
I would like to say that collectibles are the closest thing we have to time travel. It's the best way to go back in time and feel like a kid again and remember what those toys were like. And we see it all and appreciate it all with new eyes now. And it's thankfully, we're all more comfortable with it thanks to the Major Wrestling Figure podcast and their community.
But
I
Brian,
would say that those two guys have done more from being fired from WWE than just about anybody but Cody Rhodes. When you're comparing people who got fired that built themselves back on their own back, Cody Rhodes, Brian Myers, Matt Cardona, those are the names that come to mind.
Absolutely.
Well, with Brian's school too, Creative Pro Wrestling, I mean, he's put some huge stars out there. A little fella named MJF, Chris Statlander, all came from Creative Pro.
The tag champs.
The Acclaim.
So right now, AEW's world champion and tag team champions came from Pat Buck and Brian Myers Creative Pro Wrestling.
I mean, you can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. But I tell you what you can't argue with is that he is dangerously underrated. And I'm not going to get his name wrong. It's Heath, man. Our dude, oh baby. Oh baby.
Oh baby.
One of the guys who have cut, in my opinion, and maybe I'm playing Homer, but I don't think I am, over the last 5 years, his promo that he cut on fucking McIntyre is an all-time great. I think that he's been able to create his own, because, man, let's be honest, man, they buried that motherfucker to the moon in the WWE, and he's been able to keep his career going. And I think a lot of it has to do with that fucking promo. Matt Mullins, tell us about Heath's amazing promo.
Well, I mean, that one is why we love pro wrestling. He went out there and was honest and really spoke from his heart. But no matter what spot you put Heath in, he gets over. I mean, Heath is the leader of everything, and it's a shame that he hasn't got the World Heavyweight Championship in everything that he's been in, because Lord knows he damn deserves it. Mm. But that promo is always worth the watch. I watched that one, but then I go straight to the whole of watching Heath get over with the crowd as a heel on every legend when that was happening. That's also, I love Sid and Vader and them coming out and just squashing Heath and him cutting those promos before them too.
So he will be at our table. If you want to get something signed, he's going to be at the House of Kayfabe and ASW and New Law Office table.
When you talk to Heath, you find out pretty quick that time when he was facing all those legends stands out in his mind as one of the greatest times of his career.
Oh, sure. Yeah. He's told me he would have paid them to get squashed by the legends who squashed him. And I mean, as a wrestling fan, you
get it.
We get it. Yeah. I mean, just one time you'd love to take a finisher. Who wouldn't want to be put in a figure four leg lock by Ric Flair? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, who wouldn't want to be Garvin stomped by?
And also, somebody like him, and it's the same with Brian Myers too. You can say what you want about win-loss record, but they can be trusted in the ring with all those legends who, so that they can work, and it's going to be a great match no matter what. And as Matt said, both Heath and Myers always did the best with what they were given on TV. Reliable, and that's one of the reasons they had such longevity, is because they were so good at what they were asked to do.
And talk about somebody being over. Last year, Heath was at the House of Kayfabe ASW table. He had a long line. He was right beside Matt Hardy, and people love him. We saw it to Basham Beckley. People love him, and they love talking to him. And so he's over, and I'm glad he's at our table once again.
If you don't like Heath, then you don't believe in pro wrestling. So what's next is Crazy Horse. It's going to be Crazy Horse. Crazy. It's Crazy Horse.
Crazy Horse is with us. He is one of the most recognizable independent wrestlers on the scene.
So recognizable that you guys got his name fucking wrong still. It's Warhorse, you assholes.
Thank you, Adam Harris. Hey, look, man,
Every time I've interacted with him, solid as a rock.
Nice, yeah.
Awesome. I don't watch Dark. And then
fantastic entertainer too.
Then we're going to put some respect on names here. We have, and I know that Matt Mullins and Brian Resner's heart just flutters to know that Francine's going to be right down the table from them.
Yes.
Well, I don't want to spoil the Francine and Shane Douglas franchise moment, that interview that we're going to do. But I hear, and maybe Brian Resner, you set me straight if this is not true, but I heard that you bought an inflatable pool and all those sunny hot sauces that aren't being sold. You're having sunny hot sauce wrestling
Let me put those rumors to bed. Let me put those rumors to bed. There will not be an inflatable pool full of unsold hot sauce.
Sunny. No, just Sunny.
Just Sunny's. Not everybody else's hot sauce.
What are you going to do with Sunny's? That's the thing.
Well, it was delicious, so I ate it.
It was good.
Always.
That's how Brian survived the hurricane. He lived off Sunny hot sauce.
Right.
Lived off
He is family in Fort Myers, folks. This is where we pull the curtain back on House of Kayfabe. Brian Resner survived for 17 days in Fort Myers, Florida, on
just drinking hot sauce.
Sunny's hot sauce.
Your neighbor's over there like Leo in Titanic. He's like, please give me a Sunny hot sauce. Resner's just like,
here you go, ladies.
Hell no, man. He like tips it to him. You dead, sir. You dead.
So look, that was of course the reason why YouTube is better than any content application that you can put on your phone. But let's put a little respect on Francine's name. Here's the thing.
Queen.
Here's the thing. It's very easy to just say she's another beautiful face, and boy is she. But I say go on YouTube and search let's just put Francine promo in. And she cuts this fucking promo on Lance Storm. And I think just incredible. And she puts these motherfuckers in their place. Francine is dangerously underrated as a talker. She wasn't fucking Lita in the ring, but man, she put Lance Storm and Just Incredible in their place. She's one of the who's a better talker as a female wrestler than Francine? I ask anybody. Steve knew who is a better
Charlotte
talker
Flair.
than her. Okay, I'll accept that.
Who is that?
You said Charlotte, and obviously because she's the greatest.
Yeah, Sherry Martel was a pretty good promo.
Go ahead, Steve. Yes.
I would say Sherry Martel was good.
Who Francine adores. That's like one of her top influences, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's the way that kind of stuff.
No wonder Francine is so good at what she did.
Exactly. You emulate, if you're a female and you're not a wrestler, you're not a female wrestler, a Lita or Trish Stratus or someone like that, then that's, who you could look up to. But it explains how special Sherry was, because Sherry could do it in the ring and out of the ring. But that's the first comparable female that comes to my mind. Steve Barker.
Totally acceptable answer. And then finally, and look, last year we had a lot of debate on who was going to be the main event at our table. Me, Matt, and Adam were marks and said it wasn't going to be Matt Hardy, and Brian Resner, who was not markish for once, said that it's definitely going to be Matt Hardy, and we were proven completely wrong because Matt Hardy's line started at Wrestlecade and ended at Raleigh. So I will tell you this. I think Brian Resner, and I'm going to put respect on her name, Aubrey Edwards is going to be the biggest draw at the House of Kayfabe table.
Okay, once again, you're being a mark, and I'll tell you why.
God damn it.
Claudio, as you call him, Claudio Castagnoli is going to be the hit maker, the record breaker at our table for sure, because he just came off of a freaking 12-year run at WWE as Cesaro. You're not going to have anyone else at the table that's going to be able to pull people like Claudio, and I can guarantee it. For the second year in a row, I will be 100% correct, because I know what draws money, and it's going to be Claudio.
Matt, what do you think?
I mean, Resner and I have been friends since we were about 14, 13. I'm going against him. I'm going Aubrey.
Dude, we've all been to AEW shows together, and we've seen Aubrey get bigger pops than their champions. This woman is so over.
here's what I'm saying is all the people in the world that love Aubrey Edwards are just a drop in the bucket of the people who know who Claudio Costa.
It's a grain of sand.
It is. It is a grain of sand. It really is, because you're talking about two different worlds. That's like when you guys were talking last year, like, oh, I can't even remember who you guys were saying was going to be the number one draw. But I'm like, Matt freaking Hardy of the Hardy Boys? Are you fucking kidding me at this point? There's no way that you can think that anybody at our table, and we had a great table full of awesome people, but there wasn't a single person on Matt Hardy's level as far as name recognition and
not in the whole convention center even. Well,
yeah,
I mean,
he had one of the biggest ones in the whole convention, and that was a convention that had Sting, that had Ricky Steamboat, that had Kane, that had Mick Foley, and Matt Hardy's line was as long or longer than all those guys.
FTR was there, and I think only Sting and FTR's lines were longer than Matt Hardy's, or as long.
So Adam Harris, 100%. Am I right, or is Brian right?
All I'm going to say is you're going to have to stay tuned to see, and that ASW, Stephen P. New, and the House of Kayfabe have two of the biggest draws at Wrestlecade, because neither of them have done a lot of stuff. They don't do a ton of signings. And Resner's right, man. Claudio, coming off the WWE machine, he doesn't do stuff like this. This is going to be people's first opportunity to shake that man's hand and say thank you for all the work he's done.
Does anyone know, is this his first convention since leaving WWE? I mean, because he hasn't done... I have never had an opportunity to see him that wasn't a WWE event.
He's done a couple signings. I know that he has. But,
I think it's his first one of 2022.
I don't think conventions.
And when would, I guess, StarCast, did he do StarCast this year in Chicago?
That might have been, that might have been right as he was released. Yeah, it might have been right around the time.
Yeah, so I mean, he hasn't done much since his WWE release.
Well, there's a sleeper at our table too that may be the most popular. I still don't think he's going to beat Claudio, but the Dirty White Boy will definitely be over with me, because the Dirty White Boy is coming to our table at Wrestlecade, and I remember being just a young wrestling fan watching wrestling in the Armory and seeing the Dirty White Boy against Tracy Smothers and just watching him be a champion. You look at him, he never looked like a champion. Never one day. But he was.
But if you look at those cards from Smoky Mountain, I mean, Cornette put Dirty White Boy at the top of every card. He's on every single one. So that should say, well, what kind of worker he was and what Corny thought of him.
Steve New, I know that you, because I know who you love, excuse me, as a wrestler, and I know that you know about the Dirty White Boy. How do you feel about the statement? The Dirty White Boy was kind of the next gen Dusty Rhodes.
He was the heel Dusty Rhodes.
But you know what I'm saying? The kind of
never went face.
That you could build your company around. That's what Dusty Rhodes was in every territory where he was. You could build your company around him. That's that kind.
I meant his gimmick and the people that the kind of people that got behind the Dirty White Boy. I feel like those fans would have been Dusty Rhodes fans 8 years before that.
Here's a good parameter for you. Think about all of the wrestlers that Vince McMahon hired and gave terrible gimmicks to ruin what they had building on the indies. You had Dusty got the polka dots. You had Tracy Smothers become Ricky Joe Floyd or whatever he became. Freddie Joe Floyd. You had
Skinner.
Wild Bill Irwin became a hockey player.
Right.
Well, just to let you know, Tony Anthony, the Dirty White Boy, became a fucking plumber. That was his gimmick, was a plumber. So they definitely wanted to smash out his spark with the worst gimmick ever. Like
he got the worst gimmick ever.
Wrestling plumber. Right. Yeah, the worst one.
It's either him or Mantar.
Mantar, oh my goodness.
And at least they put Cornette with Mantar.
That's how much they believed it. Goon's pretty bad too.
I did buy that
dumpster-
action figure the other day though. Just
The Goon?
the Goon action figure.
Oh
is
yeah,
bad.
yeah. You think that's as bad as being a plumber? A badass hockey player or a plumber, Brian? Which one are you?
You're right.
Which one?
You're right. It was pretty bad though.
Comes
Going
with
for Wild
removable
Bill Irwin.
turds.
Yes. I still have yet to see the TL Hopper figure. I would buy it too, but
I would buy
I
a
don't
TL
think they.
Hopper figure.
I can't wait to see it with the little sticker that says "First time in the line, only time in the line ever." I thought it was funny when the Wild Bill Irwin Goon figure had "First time in the line." I was thinking like, yeah, no shit. I don't think it'll ever be in any line ever again.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure it's in the clearance line right now. So,
So Brian, take us home on Wrestlecade.
I really would like to let's just run down the list really quick of some of the other people that you're going to see that are not at our table. I know that we are. Go ahead.
Okay.
You can't do it really quick because there's.
I mean,
hundreds
it's not real quick, but I'm gonna hit
Matt
some big ones right now. Right? Yeah, we're going,
Matt
dude. Hey, I'm gonna go me first because the APA is going to be there. You're going to have an opportunity to get a picture with the one of my favorite all-time tag teams. Right, the Acolyte Protection Agency is going to be there. We've got. And if y'all want to stop and expound, just tell me. We got Magnum TA there. We've got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat there. We've got Julia Hart. We have the Steiner brothers are going to be there.
How the fuck did Julia Hart make it in the middle of this?
I'm just reading what's on
Big
the
Show
screen.
is going to be there.
Let's hear
That's a
some
big
more.
one.
Brock and Arn Anderson are going to be there. You're going to be able to get a dual picture with both of them, or if you just want your picture with Brock Anderson, that would be a possibility too.
I was going to say, what's going to happen if you're like Brock? Can you take this picture of me and Arn?
Oh no!
Photo credit, Brock Anderson.
Dude, for you old school Impact fans, we're going to have Suicide is going to be there. Also,
you think Caleb with a K will be there too?
Caleb with a K is definitely going to be there. He's on the list that I'm looking at right now. If you are so inclined and like that kind of thing, Tony Schiavone is going to be there taking pictures and selling autographs. We have, man, I love her. Molly Holly's going to be there. I think Molly Holly, if Molly Holly was in AEW right now, she would be like the fucking men's champion.
She's got a fresh elite figure out on the shelf that I saw at Target today.
Yeah,
No
we're really
shit.
of those this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, real quick too, if since Heath is there, you could get a very special West Virginia All-Star picture and get Henry O. Godwin, who's from Peterstown, West Virginia, and Heath together because you got both the Godwins are there.
The Godwins.
The Godwins are going to be there. We also have Tessa Blanchard is going to be there.
She hasn't been around very much in public. You know, she's recently made her return. Can I talk about somebody that I'm excited for?
Yes.
Because and thankfully through ASW and a lot of the stuff that comes to this area, there's a lot of people on there that have got to meet already. Like Tugboat was just here not too long ago, and the $1 Million Man was at an ASW show too. But somebody we've never had, and someone who was in the area recently, but I was unable to go. And this says a lot about where I land demographically as a wrestling fan. But I look forward to meeting and shaking the hand and hopefully getting a picture with the Canadian Mountie.
Oh, you are after my heart, Adam Harris. Brian Resner looks like he's left us, but dude, the Mountie is one
he's
of
on his way to
favorites.
WrestleCade already.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
He's driving from Florida now.
Brothers,
He put the hot sauce in the trunk.
Now,
the Briscoe brothers, Danhausen, Thunder Rosa,
FTR or Dax is going to be there.
Dax is going to be there.
And actually, last year, Sting was kind of the main event. This year's main event is pretty big. It's so big that they have him listed as the Big Show.
Nice.
Paul White is going to be there. That it comes with a show special $100 combo. If you are the first 100 people to buy tickets to go see Captain Insano.
I'm looking forward to seeing Kimberly Page, Harvey Whippleman for all of you.
Downtown
He was number
Bruno.
2 on my list.
Man,
Real quick.
one man gang. I am going to find and try to get my hands on some ICW. That's this right here, the Southeastern Championship belt. I'd love to get my hands, and hopefully he will have some merch, and I'm going to have him sign it as Crusher Broomfield.
Nice.
Or maybe Akeem the African Dream, one or the other.
Maybe the Twin Towers. Let's see.
But real quick. So Cardona and Myers talking about it a lot when they're talking about their podcast, but they say that how funny is it that the 40-Year-Old Virgin, the movie, is pretty much based on a guy who still collects action figures that has never had sex with a lady. Now, this is some full circle shit. Kimberly Page shows a titty in that movie. She is in that. She's in 40-Year-Old Virgin, and now she's at a convention. So you could have her sign the 40-Year-Old Virgin. That's some full circle.
Get that picture printed out. Here is an interesting match. Because here's the thing about Wrestlecade. Also, there's 4 cards. Is there 4 cards, Adam, or 3?
Friday, Saturday, and then 2 on Sunday. Is that what it is?
Right. Yeah, because the ladies
2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday.
Okay, so here's a match that would be a thing that I would probably watch. Preston Quinn, who I don't know, CW and Brock Anderson with Arn Anderson in the corner versus EC3 Fodder, who I don't know, and someone who I'm a big ass mark for, and he might be a pain in the ass, but Austin Aries. That's going to be a fucking great 6-man
That
match.
will be cool. That will be cool.
Right?
I mean, and we're all seasoned wrestling fans, but there's still some names on here that we're not going to be familiar with. But yet, that's the cool part about Wrestlecade is that you'll see people wrestle, and in the year, 2 years from now, they could be top stars.
Yeah,
dude. CW Anderson stole the show for me last year, and
he did.
Dude, he
in that
killed
battle
it
royal
as New Jack. Yeah, as New Jack Anderson. Whatever.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. So here's a big ass package that's actually going to be sponsored by sort of friends of the show, Time Warp. We have the Mountie. We have Brutus the Barber Beefcake. We have Jimmy Mouth of the South. We have Greg the Hammer Valentine.
What was their team name, guys?
Dream Team.
Dream Team.
Dream Team.
Dude, we have DDP. We've got Jake the Snake Roberts, who has regaled us with information about his health being better. Kurt, he's actually off the oxygen, if you're following along. Kurt Angle, Sandman, and Val Venus is going to be there as well. So, look, man, we could keep doing these lists. It's Mark Heaven. Are you a Mark?
Really,
do you like
150 guests, wrestlers, superstars, from people that have just broken into the business to people that have been around the business for 40 plus years, like One Man Gang, Jimmy Hart, 50 years.
Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man.
Boogie Woogie Man Valiant, 50 years plus, Sergeant Slaughter, guys like that. To all of these, like Adam said, people that you'll watch a match and you'll go, wow, that person, that guy, that gal's really good. And in a year or two, you're going to see them on AEW or in the WWE or something like that. And it's a really special thing to experience. But I'm so proud of Tracy, so proud of this event. I think 6 years ago, 2015, 2016 was the first time I went to this event. It was awesome. They're up to 8,000 tickets sold for the weekend. 8,000 people coming here to share their love of pro wrestling. That's crazy.
That's triple the last AEW ticket sales for Dynamite. That's a shoot. That's a shoot.
About the same as I think I saw that last night's Full Gear pay-per-view, they had 9,650 in the stands of a 16,000 seat arena.
I mean, dude, you can get away with a lot of shit when you don't have to make money. So if you all dig all of that, give us a like, a comment, and share. We here at the House of Kayfabe, and we will be rebranding the YouTube channel as House of Kayfabe very soonly. Tell everybody else. I know that there's a ton of content in this space, but I think that you haven't heard any wrestling analysis with these kind of accents now, have you? So if you all...
It's a comforting Appalachian accent.
It is.
That's right.
Here on the House of Kayfabe. And I'm going to put us over a little bit more if I can, Barker. You'll hear guys who are some people's goats. Steve Barker's goat. Guy like Chris Jericho, he comes out and says pro wrestling should be an Olympic sport. Who was the first person that said that 9 months ago? It was Matt Mullins. You heard it here first on the House of Kayfabe. So that's the kind of quality programming that you'll get, along with a very comforting Appalachian accent from all of us, even those of us like Rich Quick or Brian Resner, who have migrated off to other parts of this great country.
Turn their backs on us, they have.
But we love them still. Anyway, thanks for that, Barker. Yeah, tune in. You get great content here from guys who just absolutely, we just love pro wrestling.
It's generation. It's generational. It's my great grandma Parthenie Brown put me here to love pro wrestling.
That's right, son. And if you like wrestling like that, come down to Wrestlecade, find our table, come up and talk to us. We know you're going to come here and ask us where Stephen P. New is, and we'll always know where he is. So you just come up and ask us and say, we want Stephen P. New t-shirts, and we'll fucking point you in the right direction. For Brian Resner, for Adam Harris, for Stephen P. New, and for my best friend, Matt Mullins, we'll see you at Wrestlecade next Friday.